Hey, good evening. Good evening to everyone. You know, good evening, everyone. Just want to introduce myself again. My name is Grace Daly, aka Shad, and of course, you're tuned into Jamaica World Football Talk. I am your host. Well, it has been a while since I've done a live show, whereas getting to share my views in terms of football. But with the football World Cup going on, I decided that today is when I should start back the live. And I chose this time because we're now into the second round of matches. And being in the second round of matches, the excitement has started. Very exciting. So, I just want to piggyback on some crucial matches that took place, as the World Cup started. Of course, the first round, we did see some upsets, Saudi Arabia being one, Japan being one. And those teams are now fighting for another win or for another point with the hope that they can revive their status to the second round. Question is, can they? Can they? Well, the one thing that I can tell is that this World Cup is a fascinating one. And personally, I'm enjoying it. I know there's a lot of demonstrations, a lot of people coming out and speaking against what is happening in Qatar. And oddly, this is football. And because this is football, we want to ensure that the sport in itself lives. So I'm going to move away from the politics of it all and just speak in terms of football. So what is going on now? Well, we know the favorites. And we know the favorite is Brazil. And Jamaica has the most Brazilian fans, right? Almost 90% of football fans in Jamaica support Brazil. And possibly another 7% supports Argentina. And then the rest goes anywhere it wants to get. Before I start, my team in particular is Senegal. That's the team that I support. That's a team that I would love to do well. They are the Afghan champions. And for those who do not understand, Afghan is the African Championship Cup, where all African nations challenge, just like the World Cup setup. And so Senegal was the winner last time out, and they're the team that I'm actually supporting in this World Cup. So let's speak about my team and where I believe they can progress and how do I see them finishing. Well, Senegal played a very, very decent match last time out. I thought that they were hard done by in their first match, which technically speaking, they should have walked away with a point in that match. And based on how they were playing, in my opinion, they should have won. But it was never to be, and they failed to capitalize. Well, the second match they won, and being that they have won the second match, what you then start to see is that you have Senegal winning their next match and leading into tomorrow's match to try to finalize and winning their next game. Senegal played Netherlands in the first match, and they created so many chances, and so many chances that they have created. One would have thought that they would have capitalized on that and brushed the Netherlands aside. But my side play around with these teams too much. And in the end, Netherlands capitalized on some goalkeeper error and put two through the nets of the Senegalese. That was a tough uphill task thereafter. And I thought that my team would have thus crumbled, especially going into their next match. But they rose to the occasion, which is good. Rose to the occasion. And they rose to the occasion against a very strong team that many thought would have put them to the sword. They won their second, and as the Netherlands face off in their final match, we're hoping that the score will go in Senegal's favor. We need a victory, put it that way. Not even a draw, a victory for Senegal to go through. And that is what I'm looking forward to. And they face a very strong Ecuador, who actually put away Qatar in their opener. Ecuador is actually one of the teams that I had favored during the South American games leading up to the World Cup. And they're a very solid team, to be honest. Some good players, technical players, who pretty much can win this game as well. So with them winning their first match against Qatar, they face the Netherlands next. And they pull off a 1-1 draw. And now they're faced with my beloved Senegal. Sentiments aside, I wish both teams could advance. But how is it possible when we know that the Netherlands are on 4 points, Ecuador is on 4 points, Senegal is on 3 points, and Qatar is on 0 points? Well, mathematically, it is not hard. Mathematically, when you think about it, Qatar can make way for both Senegal and Ecuador. And what's your reasoning? Netherlands win their first match 2-0. Ecuador win their match 2-0. Ecuador play Netherlands. Match drew 1-1. Being that the match drew 1-1, it means that Netherlands and Ecuador are on the same points, same goal difference, which is 1. Senegal needs to win against Ecuador and let everybody else decide that. So going up against Ecuador, we need to win. End of story. Can we do it? Yes. Senegal can do it. And that is where it stands for me. I believe that Senegal will win this match against Ecuador 2-1 in a very tough match. And I do believe that Qatar will beat the Netherlands. There you go. Now, one of the matches that I watched, and I personally fall in love with this team and believe in this team, and that is Saudi Arabia. They put on a show in their first match, honestly speaking. And that match, in my opinion, told me that football has evolved in various regions. Because who would have thought? Who would have thought of all the teams, Saudi Arabia? But they're doing their thing. Won their first match. But unfortunately, they lost their second match and looking for a win, a victory in the next. I see it highly unlikely, but there is a possibility. And the reason why there is a possibility is because Saudi Arabia is playing some good football, some decent football, which I wouldn't have expected, to be honest. So that's another one of my prediction. Is there anything spectacular about Saudi Arabia? It's their fighting spirit. So as you look within these World Cup games and these upsets that took place, Saudi Arabia is one of the teams that I believe can qualify out of all of the upsetters. Now we know the game with Japan, and where Japan snatched a victory from Argentina. I got that one wrong. Japan snatched a victory from Germany. And by snatching a victory from Germany, I had thought initially that Japan would have then win their next match, which is against Costa Rica. You would have thought 2-1 against Germany, then it's an easy victory for Costa Rica, or so to speak. So we thought. In the end, it was a shocker when I saw Costa Rica put aside the highly favored Japan to the sword and give them a Bob Marley. Now, as it played out, had Japan win, then the next match would have been Spain against Germany. And I was hoping that Spain would have won that match as well, and where Germany would have been sent home. But it was never to be, because the gods of football thought otherwise. And as Japan lost to Costa Rica, Spain still had a job to do, which is beat Germany and let Germany go home nonetheless. That loss by Japan is a crucial loss. And a crucial loss means that Germany still has a fighting chance. I'm playing Spain. Spain went up 1-0. But it was never to be. They couldn't hold up. I thought that after brushing away Costa Rica 7-0, it will just be a practice match. Or maybe the case may be that Spain let them off. I'm going to say that. Spain let them off. Because Germany came back in the match. And that match was a very interesting match, because I watched a young Musala put on a show. English born, playing for Germany. And from what I see, he is the next star for the future. How did he slip away from England? Your guess is as good as mine. But with him and Sane, who came on late in that match, I saw a totally different Germany team. That Germany team decided they are not going to lose today. And it was some spectacular display and some beautiful football, honestly speaking, that I literally saw Germany got back into the game. That was it. So now we come down to the final showdown. We have Japan on 3 points. We have Costa Rica on 3 points. And we have Spain on 4 points. And with that said, you have to ask the question, which of these teams will advance? Because Germany is on 1 point. You see, football wicked. Football is wicked, man. Seriously speaking. Because when you have a team like Japan beating Germany, you would have automatically thought that they would have automatically qualified to the next round because it's too easy. They must beat Costa Rica. Or Spain just brushed aside Costa Rica by 7-0. So it should be an easy walkthrough. Well, let me tell you something. This zone is very tricky. And if you're watching how the football is being played in Qatar, you can see that if Germany beat Costa Rica, Germany can go through. Or if Japan draws with Spain, it is possible that Japan can go through. Interesting. But if Japan defeats Spain and Costa Rica defeats Germany, then Costa Rica and Japan goes through, and Spain is left, and Germany is left. But then you have to wonder, I wonder if these big countries underestimate these teams, or Spain probably, I think, easy win that for me against Japan. Simple. Or Germany now thinks, okay, I'm going to walk into that game because if Spain give Costa Rica 7, then I can give them 5 and qualify. This is an interesting zone to watch, honestly speaking. I like upsetters. I like CONCACAF football. And I believe that Costa Rica has every right to fight for a spot to qualify. And they can beat Germany. I've seen them played in the last World Cup where they fought like champions, won some crucial game, qualified for the second round, won that game and go to the quarterfinal to lose and penalty kick against the Netherlands. I've seen them play and beat teams before. Yes, their players are aging, but they're good enough to pull off an upset. So let's go with that upset now. In terms of the Japan and Spain match, well, Japan has to produce another world-class game as they did against Germany. Can they do it? You bet they can. So I'm going to go with the two upsetters. Japan beating Spain, Costa Rica beating Germany. You know, as we're talking about these victories and what we expect to happen down the line, we fail to understand that there are teams even from Africa that are in good positions to qualify. It is not all about the European teams. It is not about the South American teams. But we do have one African team right now who is playing exceptionally well, which is Morocco. Drew their first match against a strong team, won their second and are on 4 points. So I favor them too to go through to the next round. Solid thing we're talking about. You really think about this, football is such a beautiful game. But there's so many highlights to me, man. I'm just enjoying this. The players, the spectacular games. How about that Richarlison goal, that bicycle kick? even though he didn't spark today as we would have expected him to follow through and show another spectacular class in his scoring abilities. We didn't see it today. We do see Mbappe scoring now on 3 points. Probably the best player in the tournament right now, next to Valencia from Ecuador. Both are on 3 points. We're looking for the Neymars, but he has gotten an injury in the first match. Mitrovic scoring again today. Lewandowski finally scoring a World Cup goal. Cristiano Ronaldo, a fake penalty to give him a goal that makes him the only man to score in 5 consecutive World Cup. And lo and behold, he was trying to claim a second today. Thanks to FIFA for awarding the right man that goal, which is Bruno Fernandes. I saw Bellingham playing in a match against Iran. And I was quite impressed with that young player. And after that impressive 6-2 by England, I thought that they would have gone on to beat the US. But what I saw was a lackluster English team who didn't show the quality that I thought they had. Or maybe they were bullied by a more aggressive USA team that kind of tamed the cat. Second game against the USA, the same Bellingham who was so impressive failed to repeat and was soaked. Now they have their match tomorrow. England will face Wales with Gareth Bale. And the USA will face Iran. Now, in the match between Iran and England, it seems that every team in that zone would pick up 3 points from Iran. And Wales may have gone in with that type of attitude. And the next thing you know, they got a shocker because Iran scored 2 goals on them. Late, very late in that match, around the 98th minute. And beat them 2-0. Which give now Iran a big jump on many of the teams. Because one, you have England that has 4 points. You have Iran now with 3 points. Wales sitting at the bottom with 1 point. And the USA on 2 points. So the big match that everyone will be watching tomorrow will be the USA versus Iran. This is a tough match. This is football war zone. It's all about victory. And any team can win it. I won't even predict because I don't want this YouTube channel to be shut down. I don't even want to predict. So I'll leave that one alone. But with England already pretty much qualifying, because mathematically, I can't see any other team other than England topping this zone. Wales had their chance. They played around. They played around in the US match. They came again and played around in the Iran match. And now they're going to puff up them chests now because they have to take down the great English team. I think there will be a lot of changes. I think we'll see Foden coming in, young general. I think you'll have Henderson coming in as well. Changes have to be made. Bellingham might have to sit it. But you have to bring in the changes. Mount need to sit, need to bring in Foden. Rashford definitely need to start We need to see some excitement. We need to see some flair. English players of top quality, especially what I see in the English Premier League. So why are they playing so lackluster? Kane need to rest. He's injured. It's evident. Need to come better than that. Callum Wilson need to get a game. Start him. Get the man. Them start rolling football. Guess what? I'm qualify already. So Michael's only gonna put in the work right now. That's the match of the day, or is it? I think more ardents will be watching the USA Iron. Your bet is as good as mine. As I said, I'm leaving that one alone. So we're almost about to wrap up the first round matches. And I have to say that the tournament, although it has been stained with so many issues, and it has been a great World Cup for me. I'm enjoying myself. It is good. But what next for teams? How many teams have already qualified? We know France qualified with their victory, beating Australia first, and then taking full points in their next match. We know Brazil already advanced as well, winning their second match today. And we also know that Portugal has advanced today after winning against Uruguay, who is still sitting on 1 point. We know that South Korea drew with Uruguay and they were slapped by Ghana today, 3-2. So we know that Ghana, another African team, will be faced up against Uruguay, who will be looking to win. But I hope that the Lions can fight this fight and take it to Uruguay. And I can't foresee Portugal losing against Korea. Then again, who knows? So this first round is really finishing with a bang. And I think other than the 3 teams that have already qualified, the other groups are wide open. Cameroon can still qualify, yes. Ghana can still qualify, yes. Senegal can still qualify, yes. Morocco definitely will qualify, yes. CONCACAF, Costa Rica still has a slim chance to qualify. Will they qualify? USA have a chance to qualify. Will they qualify? Mexico, who drew their first match, has a chance to qualify. I mean, they lost their second match, which was very hurtful in a sense against Argentina. But it looks sticky for them. Well, let us see. Of course, we know that Canada is already eliminated after losing their first 2 matches, one against Belgium and the second only recently against Croatia. So Croatia has a chance now to pull it off, while Canada will only be playing for brownie points. See what damage they can do in that final match. But nice like a group, but Canada did play well, in my opinion, but just fade. We're going into the second round, which is going to be crucial, and we're just going to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Going to the second round, which is just as crucial as these first round of matches. I have to say that the 2 teams that I see that looks impressive are, one, France because they show guts, resilience. Remember in the first match when Australia scored first against them, one would have thought that Australia would pull off an upset like the Japan and the Saudi Arabia. But France came back and just put them to the sword. Just like that. And then for France to meet up again with another good team and winning that match, it was good enough for them to take the top honors. Australia then came and won their next match, which I was personally in shock because I thought that Tunisia would have come to play and send that side away. But Tunisia looks like the odd African team that may fail, but can win their next match and still pull off an upset. Can they beat France? That's the question. I doubt that. Second round, which is your knockout, is going to be very interesting, ain't it? Because what is going to happen now is that teams are going to be pit against some of these top teams. The teams such as Portugal, France, who look solid. Both teams look so solid right now. I cannot tell you that any other team impressed me other than France and Portugal. I might not like the Ronaldo type of personality, but his team is winning. And if your team is winning and playing beautiful football, then that's what we want to see. Now, if you ask me about Brazil, I mean, they won their next match, yeah, but they look like an ordinary Brazilian team without Neymar. Really think something is missing in that Brazil team. And when you analyze what was going on or the players that them brought to the table, you realize, Jano, oh, them for leave Firmino. Can't leave Firmino. But that's who they left. And because they left Firmino, they're now left trying to put the pieces together to cover for Neymar until the swelling on his ankle ease and he's ready to touch road again. But I'm look average. The player I really like in the Brazilian team. And today I saw a better approach from him. Casemiro stepped up into the holding midfield role as usual. And I noticed the change when they brought on Anthony. It brought a level of excitement to Brazil's game. The tempo changed. Pace started to pick up. They put on Gabriel Jesus, and he too lift the Brazilian team. So is it a coincidence that these players, as they're coming on in the World Cup, are shining? What will happen in the second round? Why aren't these coaches starting the good players? You saw today in the Ghana match. You saw today in the Cameroon match, especially the Cameroon match, having these top players sitting on the bench. For what? Let's see what will happen in their final match. Because in the second match, managers can't make the mistakes that I see them making. The Gareth Southgate of England cannot make the mistake that I see him making in his selection by leaving out Foden. Cannot. By leaving out Rashford. Cannot. By having favoritism using Kane over Callum Wilson. Cannot. By starting Mount over Foden, you cannot make these mistakes. So managers have to pick up now. The only manager that is playing his team right is France and making strategic substitutions that their players are capitalizing on teams. Because teams do not know what just hit them. The most complete squad is Portugal's squad as well. So we have to watch out for them. Think about it. So in the second round, I'm expecting this to be a managerial, tactical competition rather than playoff, because tactics wins these knockout phases. As for me, I don't like Belgium for nothing, because they have two coaches who act like they know everything about football, and you put them to the platform and they can't even deliver. Martinez and Thierry Henry. Think you have the golden generation of Belgium and couldn't win with them. Now you have turmoil within the camp. You have Lukaku sitting on the bench when you need a goal, because you decide that Batsui is better than Lukaku. You have Kevin De Bruyne coming out and speaking in terms of his team being old. And then you have in backlash with other players. For what? Why? Why now? Why not during the qualification and let another team take it? This football is something else. But the second round is what I'm looking forward to. I want to see the right teams qualifying. I believe that the teams that pull off the upset in the first match should be able to pull it off and go to the next round and bust another upset on some teams. World Cup should not be about the favorites and every favorite winning and making it seem that it is easy. World Cup should be about teams understanding themselves and know that teams are there to scalp them. That is what brings football together, and for fans to cheer. Let those who want to sweat in their pants, sweat in their pants. Let the Brazilian fans, them sweat and bite their nails, just like any other team. Let Argentina fans have to wait, just like how they're waiting now for the final match, with the hope that they can win so that they can advance. Let them wait. Let every single one of them wait. Let all of them know that football lives and will continue to live forever. We would like to see many more matches of Musiala. But guess what? If his team has to go, his team must go. And I'm favoring for his team to go, because everyone thinks that Germany has to go to the next round. No, you don't. Let us stop that right there. Let us stop that thought of thinking that because you are a certain team and a certain country that you cannot lose and that you must qualify. No, you don't. And if England was in a position that they would not qualify, I would have not want them to go either, because I hate their boring football, honestly speaking. So next week, I will have something totally different to talk about. Hopefully, the next round is just as good as what we have seen in the first two. In fact, let us not wait until next week. Let us tune in again after the final rounds of matches have been played. And once they are finished, I will tune in again. And we will continue along that pace to the second round, which is the knockout phase. Which team I want to see in the knockout phase? I want to see 4 African teams in the knockout phase. There's a possible 3 that I will see. 1, which I think is guaranteed to slip through, which is Morocco. I want to see Senegal, and they'll do it tomorrow. And I want to see Ghana, because they're playing beautiful football. They're just not settled. That's where I want to see football. I want to see the African nation challenging the South Americans and the top Europeans. I want to see Asia involving the second round too. So I'm rooting for Saudi Arabia to pull off another upset. Yes, and I think they can. I think that every single region must have a representative in the next round. So let us see. And what is to be must be. Will I see a team from CONCACAF, as I just mentioned, that I need to see a team from each region? Yes, I would love to see that. I believe we have 3 chances there to see that. So I want to see that it is possible. And that is how I want to predict my game today. Football is beautiful. Football brings people together. Football is life. And where there is life, football lives. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night. Yes, sir. It's all about that. Blessed love, everyone.